Alright. Okie doke. Hello, everybody. This is the Jacob. Today we are doing a tier list of everyone's favorite metal band. Um, it's just, it's literally objectively the most popular metal band. It literally has metal in their name. Um, so we're doing a tier list. As you know, S means ho, and F means so. Let's start with Kill 'Em All. Um, this this album is I wouldn't really say overlooked because it has Seek and Destroy on it. Um, but it has there's oh my god, I need to stop burping. Wow. Why does this have to happen right now? There's hit the lights. Which obviously that's you know banging. I love the fact that it fades in um because it's like the first song, so it's kind of has this um ominous intro. Uh the Four Horsemen, the twin brother of Mechanics, Motor Breath, which I used as my first YouTube intro, Jump in the Fire, which is groovy, Anesthesia Pulling Teeth, which is great, Whiplash is just like the essential Metallica song, Phantom Lord is really cool, No Remorse is yeah, pretty good. Seek and Destroy is like the best one on this album. And then Metal Militia is pretty good too. So it the songs that are on here aren't very iconic, but they're pretty good nonetheless. So I think it's a solid B. Solid B. Very good uh album. Um Ride the Lightning is the production quality is very high. I mean, like in comparison to Kill 'Em All. Kill 'Em All is the first album of a metal band, so it kind of has like you recorded it in a garage, and it sounds crunchy. Uh, if, Ride the Lightning, very good album title. It literally feels like you're listening to lightning, not the thunder, not thunder. That's the next album. You're listening to lightning. Fight Fire with Fire is beautiful intro. Great song to show your friend who doesn't listen to metal. They'll be like, "Oh, this is pretty." Um, and then it kicks into the song. That's what I did for my 8th grade music project, where we had to pick a song and then write about its political message. And obviously, this is Fighting Fire with Fire is about nukes. A nuke goes off at the end of the song and literally leads right into Ride the Lightning. I like songs that flow together. Um, I don't like it when the band. I don't think Metallica does not do this ever, but I don't like when a band makes the first song, the intro, and it's like 30 seconds, and then it leads into the second track, which is actually the first song. It's confusing, and it doesn't really flow well in iTunes or especially YouTube when there's an ad in the middle of it. And it's just like, if they're meant to be the same song, why not make it the same song? At least put it in the same track. Um, but anyway, enough of my ramble, my tangent, if you will. Ride the Lightning is epic. I love it. Epic intro. I wish the intro would be longer on the Ride the Lightning. For Whom the Bell Tolls is another essential Metallica song. That's like, just, I mean, it's For Whom the Bell Tolls. Fade to Black, I wonderful ballad that um uh isn't a ballad anymore by the end of the song. Trapped Under Ice is great. Escape is underrated. I know they haven't played that live since they did the live album. They did a live show of this album once and they played it and that was the only time they played it, but I like Escape. I mean it's not that metally, it's not that metallic, but it's pretty good. Creeping Death is amazing. And then the Call of Cthulhu, uh, first, no, second instrumental, great instrumental. I miss when they did instrumentals on each album, because there's four instrumentals. There's an instrumental on each album, which is just really cool, really cool idea. So overall, Ride the Lightning is like Fight Fire with Rhino, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black, Trapped Under Ice, Escape. It only has one mediocre song on it. There, there's no song that. Oh, I grabbed the wrong album. Oh dear. There's only one song that's um maybe passable in that album. It's a freaking A, solid A. Great. I mean, I could even put it at S. It's that good. Um, but I mean, it's one song that sucks, which you know, I'll do a review at the end. Maybe it will be S. I don't know. But Master of Puppets did like what everyone thinks of when they think of Metallica. Is this album? Well, maybe not. Actually, never mind. Maybe not everyone. What every metalhead thinks of when they think of Metallica is this album. Personally, I don't like this album as much as uh everyone else does. Maybe Battery, amazing opener. Master of Puppets, like, I mean, it's Master of Puppets. It's like it's what every metalhead is like the Metallica song. To every metalhead at least. The thing that should not be is slow. It's kind of slow. I don't like it as much, but it is very good. Welcome Home Sanitarium's great. Disposable Heroes is good. Leper Messiah is weirdly good, but at the same time, it's one of the lesser songs. But I do like it a lot. It's good. Orion's a beautiful instrumental, and then Damage Incorporated is another one to show your friend who doesn't like metal because you're like, oh, it's pretty, and then, um, I mean, I love the fact um, that they finish it off with that heavy song. That's great. Um, so overall, the thing that should not be in Leper Messiah are the only two meh songs on this album. Other than that, it's like pretty good. Um, and Justice for All. For a while, Blackened was my favorite um Metallica song. I would wake up to this every morning in middle school. Literally every single morning of middle school I would wake up to this. At least yeah, yeah, yep. Um it's just that soft intro. Again, what is Metallica with these soft intros and then going right to Fight Fire with Fire, Battery, Damage Inc., um and Blackened, they all fade in this beautiful melodic tone, and then thrash, I'm gonna break something. Um, I love it. But Blackened has this weird, unintuitive rhythm to it that I really liked, It's almost, dare I say, proggy in its rhythm. Do 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 do. Or maybe that's a different one. No, wait, hold on. I think that was another Metallica song I was humming. Like you would not expect that tune to go that way. It does. That rhythm, that riff. Uh, um, but anyway, there's Blackened and Justice for All is an epic. Um, Eye of the Beholder is great. I love the way it fades in. Um, One is another essential Metallica song. It's a ballad type song until it gets to, what everyone knows one to be. And then the shortest straw is just the shortest straw, Harvester of Sorrow, and the Frayed Ends of Sanity are like a good little trio of heavy riffage, and I love them. Um, To Live is to Die is the instrumental, and of course that's great. And then Dyer's Eve is another one. Not really one that starts off slow, but it's just like Damage Inc. It's just overly fast and aggressive, and I love it. And there is no bad song on this album. I could listen to this album all the way through, and I wouldn't get bored. Fucking S tier. I just cussed there. I don't care anymore. The Metallica. Yes, it's overrated. Not the band. Metallica made a lesser title. I love how. Let me go on another tangent. I love how certain bands like Dream Theater, maybe, I haven't listened to that one yet. Dream Theater, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Metallica, they all make a self-titled album or game in the Sonic's case. Like Sonic 06 was supposed to be the reboot, and it was horrible. Apparently, Dream Theater's self-titled album is also bad. I love how they try to think it's, oh yeah, we're going to self-title it to be cool, and this is going to be the, but but anyway, this one's the exception. It is lesser, but it gives me the opportunity to say that Metallica is overrated. The album, the album. Um, it's just Enter Sandman has been played so many freaking times, I cannot stand it anymore. Do 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 do. However, it is great. Sad but True's groovy. Holier Than Thou's fine. Unforgiven's great. Wherever I may roam is epic. Don't Tread on Me is great. Through the Never's heavy. Nothing Else Matters is just, I love how it's like the slowest Metallica song. It's sad, just depressing. It hits me in the feels, yo. Of Wolf and Man, it's a song about a werewolf and it's groovy as heck. The God That Failed is good. Friend of Misery is fine. And Struggle Within is freaking awesome. I mean, listen to this epic intro. It's great. I think this album is both overrated and underrated at the same time. C. No, B. I loved it. Um, what album would get C? Well, we can change it later on. Okay. Um, that's it for good Metallica. Sadly, until we get to, like freaking 20 years later. Um, so the next album is kind of two albums actually, because originally they were going to release it as one album, but it was too long, which was just bullcrap because Dream Theater has a 2 hour long album. But anyway, let me read off these song titles. Ain't My Bitch, 2x4, The House That Jack Built, which are all just meh. Until It Sleeps, King Nothing, Hero of the Day, which are all pretty good. King Nothing is the greatest one on this album. Actually, you know what? King Nothing is overrated. Bleeding Me, Cure, and Poor Twisted Me, they're just no. Wasted My Hate is groovy. Is like this is like the best one. I scratched to be saying King Nothing is the best one. Wasted My Hate. I mean, do 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 do, and then it actually turns into a song. So that's I love it. Um, hold on, I need to yawn. Mama said, Thorn Within. Ronnie is Outlaw Torn. They're all pretty bad. But it's not horrible. At least it's not horrible. You know what I'm saying? At least it's not horrible. Um, the sequel, the second half, Fuel is no Enter Sandman is what literally everyone thinks of when they think of Metallica. Like non-metalheads, they think of Enter Sandman when they think of Metallica. Um, the more, shall I say, quote unquote experienced Metallicans, metalheads of Metallica, um, they would say Fuel is the Metallica song, when in reality it's Master of Puppets, but um, they're not familiar with real music. But Fuel is, I mean, it's Fuel. It's pretty good. Um, the Memory Remains is good. Devil's Dance, eh. Unforgiven 2 is it's great sequel. Um, Better Than You. I mean, it's not as good as the first one, obviously, but it's pretty good. Better Than You. I don't even remember that. Slither, eh. Carpa Diem, Baby, pretty good. Bad Seed. It starts with him coughing. No. Where the Wild Things Are. I don't even remember that movie that well. It sucks. Prince Charming is decent. Low Man's Lyric creeps me out because it talks about veins or something, and I never listened to it. Attitude, that's the one. Fix. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Okay, nah. Um, this was actually. I can move this up. I was putting it down because I felt bad that nothing was in the C tier, but I like this nice division. Reload is actually slightly better than Load. Actually, slightly less than slightly, just enough to be in the C tier. Um, it's still bad. Um, f- uh, what are we doing? Metallica gives up making their own music and decides to cover other people. Um, Free Speech for the Dumb sucks. It's Electric's good. Sabdo Cadabra is nice to get stuck in my head. I will accept that into my brain. Turn the Page. I don't need to remember that. Die, Die, My Darling. Die, 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 my darling. I like that one. It starts with a burp. That's great. Lover Man. I don't even remember that one. Merciful Fate. Literally, when I saw that there was a band called Merciful, I'm literally bobbing my head to nothing right now. Merciful Fate. When I heard that Merciful Fate was a band, I was like, oh, they named themselves after the Metallica song. Yeah, that was before I knew what King Diamond was. Astronomy. Oh, by the way, the Merciful Fate, that medley's pretty good. I love the fact that James Hetfield, that there is literally a song where James Hetfield's voice cannot go high enough and he voice cracks. I love that. Astronomy. I don't even know what that is. Whiskey in the Jar is great. Tuesday's Gone. I don't know. The More I See. I don't even know what that means. Helpless. What? The Small Hours. No. The Wait. No. Crash Course in Brain Surgery. Never had one. The Last Caress Greenheld. Am I Evil? Yes, you are. Blitzkrieg. Okay. Bread Fan. The Prince. Stone Cold Crazy. So What? I love that. I love the lyrics. So what? Um, I fucked a sheep. I fucked a goat. I ran my cock right down its throat. That's a literal lyric that James Hetfield has said. Killing Time, Overkill, Damage Case, Stone Dead Forever, and Too Late, Too Late. I don't understand why Load and Reload had to be split into two albums because this one's literally um two albums long. Because the first half is new covers and the second half is covers that were bonus tracks on previous albums. Um, oh, the frickin' this one's pretty good. It's not. Uh, I mean, I can't say that. Oh yeah, it's a great Metallica album because it's not Metallica. Metallica's covering it. Um, but overall, it's pretty decent. I wouldn't. I mean, there's so many mediocre songs in this one. It's just it could have been shortened to "It's Electric," "Sabracadabra," "Die Die My Darling," "Merciful Fate," "Whiskey in the Jar." Um, "Helpless" I think is popular, but I don't like it. Am I Evil, Blitzkrieg, and that's it, really. There's so many mediocre songs on this album. I'm gonna put it at D. I don't really like it that much, but the good songs are really good too. What do we do with this? Mm. See, it. I mean, if you don't know, it's like in a when you're taking a test in school with when in doubt, C. Um, S&M, Symphony and Metallica. Um, this one, hmm, like, not, I like the symphony with the music, and confession, I have not listened to this album all the way through, uh, which I should probably do, because, I mean, I've listened to every single Metallica song, and have every single Metallica song, so, um, I don't know, but, uh, you know, I like this symphony with the metal. Yeah, I like the symphony with the Metallica, and the fact that there's two new songs on this makes me really makes me want to freaking um hear a studio version of No Leaf Clover and Minus Human. No Leaf Clover's better, but they both sound like they're just, you know, um two songs that were scrapped from Load and Reload. Um, they're better. They're the better songs from Load and Reload. They seem like they would have made them slightly better than they already are. I mean that they are, but you know, No Leaf Minus Human's pretty good. No Leaf Clover is on Guitar Hero. Um, so you know those two songs are pretty good, and the fact that this is a live album where they wrote two songs specifically for it, pretty neat. I'm gonna put it at C. Well, I mean I want to put it at B. The reason I want a studio version of No Leaf Clover and Minus Human is because I don't like live albums. I don't like when a song is specific to a live album because it's like I want to hear the song without the crowd cheering in the background or ruins it. Um, Unless they incorporate it into the song somehow. But I'm putting it at B because it does have Battery, uh, the Call of Cthulhu, Creeping Death. I'm pretty sure. So it does have all the good shizzle on there, along with all the decent shizzle. And it does have two new songs, so be pretty, good. Um, Metallica, I Disappear for the second Mission Impossible movie. This is just another song that feels like, I feel like, um, Load and Reload could have been one giant album with No Leaf Clover Minus Human and I Disappear added onto them as like bonus tracks or something, because this is literally just another um you know load reload era song. It's not really um that good, but it's not really that bad either, so when in doubt, C. We are now leaving the decent Metallica territory into um Me Angry. Me Want to Scream. Saint Anger is so hated that it's it's just iconic for being that one sucky Metallica album. Um so but as much as it sucks, like absolute ding dong, ding-a-ling, fling flang, Saint Anger is ever so slightly underrated. Frantic is pretty good. The title track is okay. Some Kind of Monster, Dirty Window are horrible. Invisible Kid is kind of groovy. My World is My World, Shoot Me Again is okay. Sweet Amber's The Unnamed Feeling and Purify are just Purify is All Within My Hands is This disc was scratched to hell, so so much that I had to buy Invisible Kid off the App Store. Um, but you know, Saint Anger, no, it has like two okay at best songs, so E, it's just not good. Um, Death Magnetic, Death De- Death Magnetic is I absolutely hate how everyone's like, oh yeah, the oh Hardwired to Self Destruct is returning to Metallica's roots and becoming heavy again. Um, which is dumb because Saint Anger technically did that. It wasn't good, but it was heavy. Death Magnetic, I think, is underrated. Death Magnetic is My dad says that Death Magnetic is the second worst Metallica album. Wrong. Saint Anger is. What? Saint Anger's the worst one. What could be the second worst? I mean, Saint Anger's the worst one. What could be the worst one? to you because you just said St. Anger's the second worst one, so what's the worst one? Hmm? We'll get to that. Shut up. We're on Death Magnetic right now, which I think is the return to good Metallica. That was just your life. I love the lengthy intro. I love the crazy ass sound to this album, even though it's not as good as their original four or five if you count Enter Sandman. It's literally just the title track. Everyone knows that one, but the Black Album. The end of the line is good. Broken, Beaten, Scarred is great. The Day That Never Comes is like kind of copying the um layout of one where it starts ballady and then it stops like halfway through and becomes a just a solo instead of being just complete heavy. Like the first half is ballad, the second half is heavy. The first half of this is ballad, but the second half of this is just a insane solo. It's just such a crazy song. Batshit crazy. I'm saying batshit crazy. I don't care. Um, All Nightmare Long is a no. All Nightmare Long is just a 8-minute song about zombies and it is heavy and I love it. Cyanide is about suicide, which haha cyanide and suicide rhyme. Let's repeat that in the chorus. Um Unforgiven 3 is good, maybe just as good or better than Unforgiven 2. Um but you know, the Judas Kiss, uh good. Suicide and Redemption, the least good instrumental in my opinion. Just it's good, but it's just loud. Like this album is the loudest freaking album in Metallica's discography, and it kind of hurts it a bit because the loudness is the quality about it that is just no. Um, Suicide and Redemption has three different versions. Um, the first one where the solo is completely done by James. The second version is where the solo is completely done by Kirk. And a third version where half the solo is James and half the solo is Kirk. I don't know why they used the first half of Kirk's or James solo and the second half of Kirk's solo. Why not just have both solos? I don't understand that. If you want two parts of the song, make them just smush them together in one song, in one longer song. Um, like Mechanics, to be honest, could have been on Kill 'Em All with Four Horsemen, just as like a bonus track or something. But I love the fact that um he was kicked out of the band just so we could have Megadeth because Megadeth's awesome. Um, they could have probably used a better vocalist to be honest, but My Apocalypse is just a callback to those two. It's just a straight up callback to Damage Inc. and Dyer's Eve, where the album ends off on a freaking banger of a fast, heavy song. This album is just insane. I love it. It's underrated as poop buckets. I'm just making up stuff at this point. Um, Honestly, B, solid B. I love it. Um, but I love it, but not as much as I love Injustice for All or the other ones because it isn't as good as the original four, but it's like the fifth best good one. You know what I'm saying? Um, Now, there's a sequel to Death Magnetic, a 4-track EP with a surprisingly less production quality than Kill 'Em All. It honestly sounds pretty bad. For some reason it's like weirdly nostalgic, which is weird because I never listened to it as a kid, but it's definitely these songs definitely could have been part of Death Magnetic, but Beyond Mag these 4 tracks of Beyond Magnetic could have easily been on Death Magnetic, but they would have brought the overall quality of the album down. They are 4 scrapped songs, and they're not that good. Um, the two best ones the best one on here I would have to say is Rebel of Babylon. Um, but they're all just pretty meh. Um, Lulu. On what even is this album? This isn't real. This is a side project of Metallica's. It is included in here because it is a Metallica album, but what the frick is this crap, man? I mean, James Hetfield is not the singer. It is Lou Reed. Um, Not a confession. I haven't listened to this album all the way through because I think I'd, um, you know, die of disgust. Lulu makes Saint Anger look like a masterpiece. I don't know what Lou Reed is doing on this album. He's not even singing anymore. He's just talking. Um, the only lyrics on this album that are sung by James Hetfield are "I'm a table," so that's great. But um, so we have Brandenburg Gate, which starts off with "I'd cut my legs and tits off." The what the fuck is that? Ah, it's 420 long. Uh, the View, that's where I Am a Table comes from. Pumping Blood starts off with a violin. What the heck? Mistress Dread, Iced Honey, Cheeto Me, Frustration, Little Dog, and Dragon, I've never even listened to, because I think that's a complete waste of my time and life. And Junior Dad is 19 minutes long. Why? A, you want a 19-minute song to listen to? There's Count of Tuscany. There's Empire of Clouds. Do not choose Junior Dad. Why? The second half of this song, to give credit where credit is due, the second half of this song is pretty relaxing. Um, could put me to sleep if I listened to the whole thing. Why was this made? It's a disgrace to be associated with Metallica. I spit on it like it spits on me. We have the most recent Metallica album, um, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I just got the fact that the title of this album is referencing Megadeth, because all of Megadeth's like first 5 albums started with um well um Megadeth albums. All of their first albums started with a word and then dot 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 and then the rest of the album title. Killing is my business dot 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 and my business is good. Peace sells dot dot dot, but who's buying? So far so good dot dot dot. So what? Rust in peace dot 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 Polaris. Um and then we have Hardwired dot 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 uh to self-destruct. Hardwired, short and sweet. Atlas Rise is great. Now That We're Dead is pretty good. Moth into Flame, I love it. Dream No More, meh. It kind of sounds like something off a load. Halo on Fire is pretty good. Confusion is about PTSD, so that gets an extra point for inclusiveness. Man Unkind, I don't even know what that's about. There's a pig head in there, I think. Um, Here Comes Revenge is uh, a song about respecting animals. Apparently, Am I Savage is not good. Murder One is pretty good. Spit Out the Bone is just 7 minutes long. It's heavy, it's fast, it's surprisingly melodic and harmonic. And then they do a remake of their single, which isn't on here for some reason, but they do a single of their they redo a remake of their single Lords of Summer, and it's better. I mean, all that's different about it is the lyrics and the production quality, but it's just a little bit better. And then the Ronnie Rising medley is pretty good, and it made me realize that Dio had a band before he was known as Dio. Well, I guess Dio had a band before he had a band called Dio, um, which I had no idea about, and even when this album was released, I didn't know uh, that he was covering Dio songs. Um, but yeah, great. And When a Blind Man Cries and Remember Tomorrow are covers. And Remember Tomorrow is a cover of an Iron Maiden song. So overall, this one's pretty decent. Um, it wouldn't be my favorite, but I still think it's a solid B. It's great. Um, o- Overall, if you want to listen to Metallica, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master Puppets, and Justice for All, the Black Album, Death Magnetic, Beyond Magnetic too, because it's kind of the same album, and then Hardwired to Self Destruct, definitely. Um, if you want to listen to every single Metallica song, um, I guess you just do it in order. I did put all of these in order, so you can just do it that way. Um, Please, I beg of you, don't listen to Lulu. You would probably die. Um, probably should put that on the back of the album, on the back of the CD case, or in the terms of service somewhere that like a pack of cigarettes. You will die if you ingest this. Um, your brain will have a stroke and you will pass out of like what the fuckness. Um, please don't listen to Lulu. It should be illegal. Anyway, that's my Metallica tier list. Um, yeah. Let me know what I did wrong in your opinion in the comments. I suck at making outros, so I'm just gonna leave in the middle of a sentence because I think that's funny for no apparent reason.